Hey guys, giving a day tour. Got this ugly Polak. Hey guys, M13 here. I want to do a quick video on what to do when crashing. And what I mean by that is, say a car pulls out of a side street and blocks your road, and there's like an 80% chance you're going to hit the car, and maybe a 20% chance you can swerve and either go in front of it or behind it and miss it. Most people trying to avoid an accident will swerve and try to miss the car. That is actually the incorrect thing to do, because if you're swerving, you're not braking, and if you're swerving and you make contact with the car, you're going to go down harder than you would if you just hit the car straight on. Especially when you add braking into the oh god, edit out my stupidity, into the equation. There's the word. When you factor in braking into the equation, every fraction of a second that you brake, you make the accident, the probable 80% accident, so much less severe. And another thing to consider is, if a car kind of pulls out in front of you and cuts you off, it's if you do hit them, it's going to be their fault. And if you do a swerve and miss them, there's still a good chance you're going to crash. You're going to like hit the curb on the side of the road or something. As you swerve, you could still crash, or you could just like bump them slightly and go down and crash. So now what happens? You've just crashed, you've wrecked your bike, and there's a very good chance, depending on what country you live in, that car is just going to drive away. Especially if you didn't make contact with him. If him pulling out caused you to crash and then he drives away. And we're doing a sharp right. I actually saw a video with... Yeah, my signal lights don't work. We're going right. Yeah. It's very sharp. Go slow. There was a video with Keanu Reeves, and he was talking about his accident. And he was saying, oh yeah, a car cut me off, and I was debating, should I try to jump over the car or should I just lay the bike down? Both of which are horrible answers. I suppose jumping over the car would work, because then there's no contact, and if you're wearing full leathers, you would kind of roll on the pavement behind it. So yeah, I guess if you think you can pull it off, that's okay. But laying the bike down, that makes no sense. There was a police officer who recently, he actually hit a little girl. Not recently, it was a couple of years back. He was driving his like Harley or something, and then a little girl stepped out in front of him, and he laid his bike down, and the bike sliding took out the little girl. She didn't die. We're going left. But here's the thing. He's like, yeah, I laid it down on purpose so it would stop quick. What do you think stops quicker? Metal sliding along pavement, or tires that are designed to stop heavy motorcycles on pavement? The answer is tires will stop much, much quicker. So laying a bike on its side, it'll actually travel much further on its side than it would if you just simply braked. So all these, and there's so many motorcycles that say, oh yeah, I laid the bike down to make it stop. Then you're a complete idiot, because it would have stopped much quicker if you just used the brakes. That's what they're designed for. What happens in those situations is they don't, and in half those situations, or most of the situations, they don't actually lay it down on purpose. They just brake too hard with the front. They lose the front, the bike goes down, and then it slides towards what they don't want to hit. If they were better at braking, they would not have laid it down, and they might possibly have stopped before hitting the thing. Yeah, so the correct answer is, in a situation where you might hit a car, the answer is just to brake hard. Don't swerve to miss the car unless you're certain you can, because if you can't, then every fraction of a second spent swerving is a fraction of a second you could have spent braking hard and reducing your injuries and damage to yourself and your bike. I think you guys won.